this is Go Math Lesson 11.7 on problem solving. It's a geometry standard 6.G.4. So it's on problem solving with geometric measurements. So the essential question is, how can you use the strategy, use a formula to solve problems involving area, surface area, and volume? Shedd Aquarium in Chicago has one of the country's few full-scale animal hospitals linked to an aquarium. One tank for sick fish is a rectangular prism measuring 75 centimeters long, 60 centimeters wide, and 36 centimeters high along the outside. The glass on the tank is 2 centimeters thick. How much water can the tank hold? How much water is needed to fill the tank? Use the graphic organizer to help you solve the problem. So what do I need to find? I need to find which measure to use, and the amount of water the tank holds. What information do I need to use? So I need to use the dimensions of the tank, and I also need to use the thickness of the glass. How will I use the information? So first I will decide which measure to use. Then I will choose a formula I can use to calculate the measure. Finally, I will substitute the values for the variables, and I will evaluate the formula. So choose the measure that specifies the amount of water that will fill a tank. So that's always volume, because if you're talking about filling stuff up, it's volume. So then I need to use the appropriate, or choose the appropriate formula. Well, this is a rectangular prism, so I need to use volume equals length times width times height, or you could use volume equals area of the base times the height, which is the same thing. So then the next thing I need to do is I need to subtract the width of the glass twice from the length and the width, and once from the height, to find the inner dimensions. Because you're not filling up the edges of the, the glass has an edge on it. You're not going to put water on that part. So it says find the length, so it's going to be 75 centimeters minus 4, because it's 2 on this side and 2 on this side, or 2 on this side and 2 on this side. Okay, so it's going to be 71 centimeters. Find the width, 60 minus 4, 56, and then 36 centimeters minus 2 centimeters is 34. And then you're going to just do volume, which is length times width times height. And I don't like how they wrote this right here, but it's going to be 71 times 56. Which equals 3,976. And see, then they put an equal sign, which they shouldn't have, because I still now need to multiply by 34 before I can tell you what that equals. Okay, then this is 3 times 6, 18. I kind of squished it, sorry. So this is going to end up being 135,184 cubic centimeters. So this is going to be so the volume of the tank is 135,184 cubic centimeters. Okay, next one. Try another problem. Alexander Graham Bell, the inventor of the telephone, also invented a kite made out of cells shaped like triangular pyramids. A kite is made of triangular pyramid-shaped cells with fabric covering one face and the base of the pyramid. The face and the base both have heights of 17 and 3/10 centimeters and side lengths of 20 centimeters. How much fabric is needed to make one pyramid cell? So then what do I need to find? I need to find which measure to use and the amount of fabric needed. What information do I need to use? I need to use the dimensions of the pyramid, which is 20 centimeters for the base and 17 and 3/10 centimeters for the height. And then how will I use this information? First, I need to decide which measurements to use. Then I will choose an appropriate formula. Next, I replace the variables with the correct values. And then finally, I evaluate the formula. So choose the measure that specifies the amount of fabric needed. So I'm going to need to find area because I'm talking about the base and one of the sides. So then like I said, I'm looking for area. So I need to choose an appropriate formula. So the face and the base of the pyramid are triangles. So the formula for the area of a triangle is area equals half times base times height. And so I'm going to substitute in with the values that I know. So my base is 20 centimeters and my height is 17 and 3/10 centimeters. And then I'm just going to go half of 20, which is 10, and then 10 times. It's just like moving the decimal. All you really have to do is move the decimal once. So it's going to be 173. So the area equals 173 centimeters squared because area is squared. But now remember, that's just one side. So that would either be the bottom or the side. So I'm going to have to multiply that by 2 to get my final solution. So 173 times 2. So 346. So the answer is 346 centimeters squared. So then down here it says it's going to be 346 centimeters squared of fabric is needed. And then it says explain how you knew which units to use for your answer. Well, I know that I'm measuring area, and area is always in square units. So this next one, number 1, it says an aquarium tank is in the shape of a rectangular prism. It is 60 centimeters long, 30 centimeters wide, and 24 centimeters high. The top of the tank is open, and the glass used to make the tank is 1 centimeter thick. How much water can the tank hold? So first, I need to identify the measure and choose an appropriate formula. So I know that if I'm talking about an aquarium, it's got to be volume again. And so I'm going to use volume equals length times width times height. And then I need to find the inner dimensions and replace the variables with the correct values. So I'm going to use this little area down here, length times width times height. And so it says that it's 1 centimeter thick on each side. So I'm going to have to go, well, if it's 60 long, then I'm going to have a centimeter on each side, right? So that's what they're talking about. But the whole thing is 60 by 30 by 24. So then I'm going to have to subtract 2 from this because I have 1 centimeter on each side of that. So it's going to be volume equals 58 times, on this one it's going to be, again, subtract 2 off of that, so 28. And then the height, I only have to subtract it off 1 time because it's only at the bottom, so it's going to be 23. Okay, so then I just have to multiply those together. 58 times 28. And then I'm going to have to multiply that by 24. Or not times 24, sorry, times 23. Because remember I had to subtract 1 off of there. So that would be So 37,352. 37,352, and that's cubic because it's volume. So the tank can hold 37,352 cubic centimeters of water. Okay, question 2 says, what if, to provide greater strength, the glass bottom were increased to a thickness of 4 centimeters? How much less water would the tank hold? So instead of redoing the whole thing, it would just be 24 minus 4 because the bottom is going to be 4. So I'm just going to take this amount and multiply it by 20 instead of 23. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to find the difference between this and what I had gotten on my last answer. So 4,872 is the difference. 4,872 cubic centimeters. Okay, on this next one it says an aquarium tank is in the shape of a rectangular prism. It is 40 centimeters long, 20 centimeters wide, and 24 centimeters high. If the top of the tank is open, how much tenting is needed to cover the glass on the tank? Identify the measure that you would use to solve this problem. Okay, so this one is not a volume question anymore. This one is a surface area because you're tenting it like you do like windows on a car. So you're going to use a different formula for this one. Instead of volume, you're going to be doing area, and I know it's a rectangular prism. So on this one, I'm going to have to find the area of each side and then add all those pieces together like we did in a previous lesson. So I'm going to stop right there, and if you have any questions, you can leave them on the classroom. Thank you.